All right, next question. Question 8. One day last month, the temperature outside started at -5 and then dropped 7 degrees. It then rose 10 degrees and then finally dropped another 14. Write the mathematical expression that represents this situation and state the final temperature. So let's see if we can figure this out. Basically, I start at -5 degrees Celsius. I drop 7 degrees. So if I'm dropping, I'm becoming more and more negative. Think of like a thermostat temperature dropping. As it drops, you get into the negative numbers. So I drop 7 degrees. I then rise. So I'm getting more positive by 10 degrees. And then I drop another 14 degrees. That's my mathematical expression done. To figure out my final temperature, I simply have to punch all of that in my calculator. And if I do so, it looks like I'll get -16 degrees Celsius. You can go ahead and punch all those numbers in and you can verify. And you as well should also get -16 degrees Celsius. Let's go to question 9. We got a whole bunch of friends eating a whole bunch of pizza, basically. I read this question before, I think, or I hope you guys have had a chance to read it as well. If not, pause, read it, and then come back to this video if you want a bit of an explanation. Essentially, how much pizza has been eaten is what we got to figure out, and then we got to figure out how much is left for poor little Brad. So let's see how much pizza is already eaten. Well, to figure out how much is it eaten, I just have to add up all these different fractions. So 1/3, 3/8, 1/4, and 1/2. Now, I have to find a common denominator for all of these fractions. Let's see, what's a good number for 3 and 8? I think 24 would be a good common denominator. How you figure out what a good common denominator is you try and figure out a number that each one of these bottom numbers is a factor of. So basically 24 can be written as 3 times 8. So both 3 is a factor, 8 is a factor. I could also write it as 6 times 4. That means 4 is a factor. I could also write it as 2 times 12. So that makes 2 a factor. So basically all of my denominators now are factors of 24. I just have to figure out how to write them with 24 on the bottom. For the first one, we said if I take 3, multiply it by 8, that'll give me 24. What I do to the bottom, I also have to do to the top for this one. For my next one, I have 3 on top, 8 on the bottom, and I want to get 24 on the bottom, so I multiply the bottom by 3. That means I also have to multiply the top by 3. For the next one, I have a 4 on the bottom. To get 24, I have to multiply by 6 on the bottom. I multiply by 6 on the top. And for the last one, I multiply by 12 on the bottom and 12 on the top. So I have a little bit of simplifying to do here. So let me do some simplifying. 1 times 8 is 8 over 24. 3 times 3 is 9 over 24. 1 times 6 is 6 over 24. And 1 times 12 is 12 over 24. And now that all of these are the same denominator, I can basically add them all up by combining them. So 8 plus 9 plus 6 plus 12. 8 plus 9 plus 6 plus 12 is 35. So